Welcome back to American Christian or Christian American. I'm Sean Legacy and I'm your host. Would you push that subscribe button so you can join in other videos? If you haven't seen my videos before, I would strongly encourage you to look back at the beginnings so it sets a tone for what we're talking about. Because much of what I'm talking about has been built in steps. And if you only look at it in between, you're not going to get a full picture of what I've been talking about. You may make judgments without based on facts that I've already talked about. So now, today we're going to talk about terms. What do I mean by terms? Well, in racism, there are many things that white people who look like me. We're actually not white, we're actually brown people too. We're just very, very light-skinned brown people. It's all about shades of melanin that flows through our body. And I have a little bit because I do tan, but I don't have enough. I'm still considered European American or Caucasian, whatever you want to say. But I am, just like everybody else, part of the family of God that was established. So some of the terms that people say, let's talk about what you might say and how it might be viewed. I don't see color. You don't? Really? I see color. I see people in front of me who have different pigmentations, different shades. I don't have a white cane that I go around. Do you have a white cane to go around? Of course you see color. That is the most ridiculous statement. But it's when people are trying or don't really look into things, don't study things, and they want to try to say they're not racist. So they say, I don't see color. And what it actually is like is that you're erasing them. You don't see them, that they don't matter, that you're trying to blend away anybody who's different than white so you feel more comfortable. No, you do see color, you see them, and I see who they are and I embrace them for who they are, for their skin tone, for their hair, for their personality, for everything that describes who they are. We don't need to erase people, we need to embrace people. Somebody is having a racial discussion, they get nervous and they say, I have a black friend. Really? That doesn't mean you're not racist. You may not even understand that black friend. You may not know what goes on in their lives. But why is the first thing you have to say that I have a black friend? Because you're trying to say I'm not racist. So that's a ridiculous statement as well. Another one, Black Lives Matter. Somebody come along, wait a minute, all lives matter. Okay, so this is where it shows that you're completely out of touch with reality. Black Lives Matter isn't saying that white people don't matter, that other people don't matter. What it's saying is, hey, we're in a crisis here. We're being murdered by the police. We're being murdered in the streets. We're being neglected by the government. We're not being treated right. We have a crisis going on, and that's why they say Black Lives Matter. So when you say White Lives Matter, you're saying that you don't really care, that you are more concerned about yourselves than looking at what the problems are going on. And you're just showing yourself really to be a racist and completely clueless. So stop using these terms if you really want to understand people, if you really want to overcome things in your life, and you really want to be what's right. Stop using these silly terms. Stop jumping up before you listen to other people and saying whatever comes out of your mouth, because it usually is going to make people look at you like, really? Yep. I can see that. They can see that you have a problem, that you don't take the time to understand. Another term that's coming out that might be considered, people are trying to, we have these terms, African American, black, whatever else. Don't use colored. Why can't they just say they're American? Because they're not treated as though they're American like everybody else. They're treated separately. So a new term they're coming up with, you might hear, is ADOS, A-D-O-S, American Descendants of Slaves. Be aware that they have the right to define themselves. And since the world and since the country doesn't want to include them, they may come up with different terms. It's not your business to discredit that. Understand that they're trying to define themselves in a world that keeps defining them in a negative way. Isn't it time that we start accepting people for who they are? And perhaps we get to a world where we don't have to introduce somebody and worry about somebody reacting because they look different. How about this one? When you're talking about something, I got together with 4 guys today. One of them was named Sam. He was black. Why do we have to say that? Why do we have to differentiate what people are? But it happens all the time. And I think I did it too. It's just that it's so ingrained in our mind. Like when you walk on the beach and you get sand on your shoes, we don't even think about what we say. But why is it that we have to mention that a person was black? I met an insurance salesman. He's a great guy. He's a black guy. Why do I have to say that? I met an insurance salesman. He knows what he's doing. Now, the only time that it's relevant, if you're talking about, I met a black guy or an African American guy or a person of ADOS, and he was telling me about what he goes through. Okay, so now it's relevant. But when it's not relevant, why do we say it? Why can't we just say a person, a man or a woman, a child or a senior? Why do we have to mention that they are from a different ethnic group? And notice I didn't say race because there's only one race, the human race, since we're all 99.9% identical. Another one is America is the great melting pot. Doesn't that sound good? It did to me at one time until I really understood it. A melting pot where you put everything in and then you get rid of the impurities and then you come up with something that's all the same. We're not all the same. We're different. We're individuals. What we need is, like Jane Elliott will say, a salad bowl where you have all these different things mixed together and they all make things better. I'm not a salad liker, so maybe I'll use the idea of a cake. You put flour in the bowl, you put sugar in the bowl, you put baking powder to help it rise, you put some eggs and you put some milk. But if you sit here and just set it like that and you don't stir it, it's still just eggs, flour, milk, whatever. If you mix it together and so it becomes one thing, it becomes cake. It took in all the unique principles or ideas and made a great nation together. That's what we can be. When we appreciate everybody for who they are, what they have as skills, what they bring as their uniqueness to the table, and we just be Christian people. Human beings that praise God, that love each other. But as long as we keep defining people with these negative, ridiculous terms, we will keep ourselves separate. And even if you say, well, I'm superior, realize that many of us know that you're not. And I'm speaking about white people who think of superior. Not all white people. I don't think that, but many people do. And remember, when you talk about being superior, what we talked in the last episode, before white people could be superior, they had to go to a black college and university and learn about the world. So you have a degree from a black university in order to be who you're supposed to be. Are you superior? I don't think so. Let's bless God together and be together for who we are. Thank you on American Christian or Christian American.